Hello, hello. Welcome back to my
Hello, hello.
channel. Hello,
Wait,
Miss
hold
Wendy.
on.
Where is your
Can you
camera?
hear me? I need to
Hear you
find.
loud and clear. There you go.
Okay, can you see me?
Yes, I
Wait, let me have a look. What's behind here?
can. That's pretty. Behind is
What's my hair? Listen, this is not live, is it?
it is
This
no,
you
it's not
record.
live. It's recording.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
I need to say my
now,
intro first.
are you only asking that? Okay,
I have to say my intro
hold
first,
on.
okay?
Okay,
Hello,
but now
world. Wait.
I've got notes and everything. You're not recording, eh?
It is
Look at my
recorded.
notes.
That's great.
You're gonna, yeah, but I haven't learned them. But it should be fine. You're gonna ask those 4 questions, right?
Yes, I will. Only those.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Okay. So it's fun. I just wrote this out and then I went for a run, came back, showered. So I haven't looked at it. So I may just look down at my notes, but I won't do this.
Of course, please.
Okay.
So they can see your
All
beautiful face. Okay, this is
right.
this is Teacher Desiree Vlogs, and I am with our math coordinator, Miss Wendy, and
Hello.
she's gonna be with us to talk about how tough is math. Is it?
No.
To tell you
No,
frankly, Miss
it shouldn't
Wendy,
be. I
math
can't
is
hear you.
my least favorite of all the subjects. You know why?
Really? Tell
Because
me.
I have never reached when I was in elementary and high school. I had never reached 95 in my average for math. My average for math is always 18 from 88 to 93. So I can say that it's the least of my favorite, and the rest were all were high, especially in English.
You were good
And
at math.
that's good already, yeah.
Very good.
I mean, as a student, it depends on how the teacher would give the lesson.
Right.
So when I was a student, I would say that I'm sorry, my math teachers, but wherever you are, but you were not able to successfully give me the knowledge that I needed and the enthusiasm that I needed to solve problems. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
Well, you got good marks.
I know it depends on the teacher. How
It
students would
does.
see the subject and how would students feel about the subject. It's always about the teacher giving.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Wendy, would you like to say something about yourself, or I will ask,
Well,
I will not ask
I,
how old are you, don't worry.
I may just tell you that for me, I'm passionate about maths and the understanding of maths. And I believe that unless a child has a brain injury, every child should be able to succeed in maths.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some more and some less, but every child should be able to solve problems to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And the more you create your classroom into a math stimulating environment, the
Mm-hmm.
more successful you possibly could be. Also depends on your acceptance of your children and how you build their confidence.
I agree. I agree 100%, Miss Wendy. Especially now that I'm teaching math with primary. My In the Philippines, I was teaching English, only English. But when I came to Kuwait, I started teaching maths in the primary from grade 3 to 6 when I was in the Philippine school. When I moved
Okay.
to KBS, it's grade 1 and 2, and that's better, I think. because
that is where it all starts.
yeah.
So it's a lovely level to teach, because if you get it right in the early years, it should build up productively.
Yeah, I agree. So from the math wizard, we are going to get something from some important points that every teachers and every parents should know, I think. So shall we start with our questions?
Yes.
Okay. As what would you like to see as math coordinators when you pass by a classroom, or when you walk into a classroom?
Yeah. When I enter a classroom, the first thing I want to be hit with is that there's numbers that are happening in this classroom. Maths is alive in this classroom. So I think the thing that should just jump out at me is a math working wall, where I can see what concepts are being taught. I can see some of the children's work. And I also like to see every single child's piece of work displayed. And so it's not just the best children. I would like to see all children's work displayed, and only positive comments, because it's displayed for the public and for their peers. So it has to only be, well done, you did it, I see you got it, that type of thing. And even the struggling child's work should be displayed, but be selective when you display it. Sit with that child or that student while they're working, give them pointers, guide them, encourage them, let them get a good results with your assistance. And then put a star on it and say, you did it. Like to see in the classroom is definitely a number. A number line is a beautiful visual of right from the beginning to as far as you can go. In each grade is different. So it would be a number line I'd like to see. And then also I'd like to see lots of manipulatives like counters, not packed away in a box at the top of a cupboard, where it's readily available, where it's available in little containers, so a child can go and get their little box and be, engaged using the counters. And number grid, obviously appropriate for each grade. Some loose numbers where they can actually work and sequence and put bigger and whatever with those numbers. What else? I'd also like to see things like a year calendar displayed, and tape measures, but not one tape measure, 25 tape measures in a box, not 1 meter ruler, maybe 8 meter rulers. And a scale where children can get on and weigh themselves. And then in a month's time, weigh themselves again, see if they're heavier, see if they're lighter, and that type of thing. Also, flashcards are very, very nice to have in the classroom, so that the children can drill each other on tables and have the answers on the back. So not just homemade flashcards where the children can be tested on just the 3 times table, just your division tables of 9, so that they can learn them in a kind of a category. Yeah, I think that's about all. One thing I don't like seeing in a classroom, and believe it or not, it's that tables chart with the answers displayed. To me, that tells children, you don't have to learn your tables. There it is. And then when they write a test or whatever, you say, don't look at the tables chart. So you'll see the children go like that. So with guilt that they're trying to find the answer, then the teacher rips it down and says, I told you not to look at the table. So never have a tables chart with the answers displayed. Totally unnecessary. And that's about it.
I love that the 2 things that you said, weighing scale and the measuring tape. I think that part there, when you have the weighing scale and the measuring tape, like for their height, that is more that it will make connection to their own lives, to their personal life. We are PYP teachers, so we need to make connections.
Exactly.
And weighing scale is part of that. That's very great, and I will do it in my class next year. Okay, next question, Miss Wendy.
Do that.
Do you support or reject
Yes.
the concept of students' rote learning of plus and minus bonds and multiplication and division table drills? Do you support
Right.
or
My
reject?
answer, I'll give you my clear answer. Yes, yes, and yes again. All right, and I'll tell you why. Because the two things that make a child successful in maths is the speed at which they can solve a problem and the accuracy of solving the problem. A combination of that, you've got a successful student. The speed and accuracy, and that is what a child needs. They need to speedily pull out of their memory quickly, like a reflex, the answers to their tables, their answers of divide and times, and the answers to bonds. Now, they don't have to 3,492 plus 2,941. They don't have to know that, but they need to know. They need to have the ability to add 50 plus 40 and 35 plus 35, and depends on the obviously the grade. So
Yeah.
I encourage children to know their plus and minus bonds and their times and divide or multiplication division tables. Definitely, definitely, definitely. You know, there's nothing more sad, Miss Desiree, than watching a child sitting like this, the perplexed child,
Looking at the toes.
totally perplexed by this question, and also the extreme concentration of trying to work out what it comes to. It's very sad. There's nothing more empowering for children in the classroom to know that 6 sixes are 36, 9 and 5 is 14. They feel their confidence grows, and with confidence comes the wish to be a risk taker and to try more because you have confidence.
Yeah.
So yes, yes, and yes again.
Yeah, I can relate to phonics on that. With phonics, it's also a drill that makes the students very confident in saying the sound and in reading the words itself, because
Absolutely.
they keep on doing it all the time, so their mindset is already fast, same as math. I agree with that, Miss Wendy. And
so I think put pressure. So I think teachers must put pressure on their children, on their students, and on the parents. That is a non-negotiable thing that they have to learn. And then also the teacher can create an environment in class that makes it exciting. We're going to have a competition on Friday or on Thursday, or we're going to go into pairs and see who's fastest, and always look after the ones that are not that strong. Support them. Don't put them against a very strong child, because then they're going to feel totally useless, and you don't want that. Okay.
thank you. Okay, next question. How do you propose teachers cover the different levels of math performance amongst students in a class?
Okay. Right. First of all, if I'm a grade 3 teacher, I must teach that grade 3 curriculum. It has been designed and pegged at that level, so that is my responsibility as a homeroom teacher. If I'm teaching grade 5 or grade 1 or whatever grade, I need to follow the curriculum that has been given to me. It has been developed by specialists, and I need to cover those concepts. So your starting point is to aim your teaching at that grade 3 level. And in a short time, it could be through a baseline assessment, or it could be pure observation. You will pick up who are the strugglers and who are the more proficient students. So you must start off at that level and always maintain that level in the classroom. And once you've got that covered and students are working, you then can look at your two upper and lower groups. And your upper group, I think one's got to be very careful about the stronger maths group. So often what we do, we say, okay, you're good. You can do another 20 sums. That's punishment. Don't do that to the student. The student has mastered that concept. So I would say, give him a challenge, give him a word problem challenge, and say, I bet you won't be able to solve this. And you can go and use your calculator and you can Google, and off you go. So that he's occupied, as long as he's covered that grade 3 level that you've been covering, the concept, whatever, and he's mastered it, then let him go off. Then you want to spend time with your lower group, and they need to have exactly that grade 3 level. I'm talking as the homeroom teacher grade 3. That grade 3 level of maths, they need to have it watered down. Mm-hmm. But they can't just not be taught it. They need to still have that taught. It's in the curriculum for grade 3, but you simplify it. And as you simplify it, you bring in your manipulatives.
Yeah.
And you don't say to the child, this is how you do it. You give the child the manipulatives, you create a problem, mm-hmm. and you guide the child through leading questions. Do you really think 5 and 4 is 7? Let's look at that again. Take those blocks. So you guide. Okay, and now I just want to finish with one thing and say, you know what? There is no better teacher than one student teaching another student. And it is such an ego boost if you tell the strong students, you've completed your work, please won't you be my teacher helpers, and give them a pen and say, go. I promise you that pen is like gold, and go and choose someone. And then you say to the others, put up your hand if you want someone to come and help you. And the stragglers immediately put up their hand, and the strong child will go across there. And the patience that I have watched those strong students use, because they understand their work at that same level, age level. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And then you can bring the two of them up, the strong and the weak, and bring them up and say, come on, show us, show the class on the board.
I used that strategy before, last year I have not used that strategy, having the strong students teach them, because we didn't have the time, of course, because I usually do that after by second semester, where I know that their confidence are already boosted, and they already they can feel that, okay, Miss Desiree trust me, you know. That's what I always give them, guys, I trust you to do this with your classmates, so there you go. But we know that behavior problems always come out. But if the word trust is there, if I always use that word with my strong students, the word trust, I trust you with this, so don't put me down. And they won't. Really won't.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Okay. This is our last question, Miss Wendy. Is it a question? Yeah, it is a question. What advice can you give teachers that can empower their math teaching success in the classroom? Because math is always giving teachers stress and tension when it comes to student retention. Yeah? So what advice can you give them so they can be empowered?
Okay, if I'm talking to a teacher now, let me say I'm talking to you. I would suggest to you that you make maths, and I think you mentioned this bit earlier, real to them. So there's a huge source of numbers in your classroom and amongst your students. Mm-hmm. So I would work on little projects when you get a chance. I know you're going to get the curriculum done, but get an information board up, not just the math working wall, but information, and ask your children, let's work out how many children are 6 and how many are 7. Or you can take to the 4 and say, right, work out how many months you are in age. Let's add them all together and see how many months are sitting in this classroom. So continually display really interesting information. Or in grade 5, let's work out the square meterage of this classroom. Or let's work out the percentage of maths lessons that we have a week of all the lessons. Let's work out the percent. So it's real. It's information right in the classroom, and they can understand that maths is right here, right in amongst us. Add up all the books that you were writing, and then see how many books are in this classroom that are written in. How many empty books does a teacher have versus books that are written in? So there's so much information that you can work on. So make everything alive and real that the children can relate to. The other thing is, I really think group work in pairs or in groups of 4. Mm-hmm. It's so exciting when you give children work to do and say, okay, get yourselves a name, and okay, what did you call yourselves? The lions. Okay, right. The lions are going to sit over here and they're going to do this work. And then, right, you 4, you want to go to bed. And then always, try and get them. Doesn't matter if some are strong and some are weak. It's fine. Just let them socialize and work together. Students love racing against each other. Yeah, so you can say, this half and that half, we're going to have a race. Stand in a line and have some stopwatches around. I've got my stopwatch here. And then you make up a game. So maths becomes something that's one of the things that I highly recommend teachers not to do, is to have this lesson that I used to be exposed to when I was at school, and I'm old now, where everybody sits passively in their desks. The teacher says, this is what we're going to do today. She then writes it on the board, explains how to do it, and says, right, do you all understand? It's another thing. Never ask your students if they understand. They will say yes. Never, ever use that word, do you understand? You can say, would somebody like to come up and do another example? That's okay. Not, do you understand? Okay. Anyway, so I would never want to see a teacher just standing at the front, children are passive, or she thinks she's getting really creative. Everybody come sit on the floor. And they all come sit on the floor. And this one's pushing that one. And the teacher is working away at her maths examples. And then turns around and says, you weren't paying attention. What's the answer? It becomes such a stilted lesson. And then, right, everybody get up, go back to your desks. And now you're going to do this worksheet. Oh, that's the worst class ever. You don't want that. You want interactive. You want students to be actively engaged. You want them out their desks. Move the desks or get them into groups on the floor. Have them working with manipulators. Let them race against each other. There's so many things. You really want to build up a positive vibe in the classroom. And you know what? Shower students with compliments in the maths class. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my word, what? I can't believe it. He's got the answer. Stand up, go to the front, tell them how you did it, and then I promise you, their body language just goes, wow, I feel good about myself. Because you really, really want your students feeling good about it. Exactly, yeah. And the child that is really struggling, find something you can compliment that boy or girl about. And say, oh, look at you are amazing. I didn't know you could do this. And also, I want to just say one more thing. We must remember that maths is not just working with numbers. It's collecting data. It's spatial orientation, with geometry and whatever. And I have found many students who kind of struggle with the numbers and the operations, but give them something geometrical. And their right brain kicks in, and they are the strongest in the class. So be very careful about categorizing your students, and you're the strong ones, and you're the weak ones, and you're the average ones. Each different thing that you do in maths can bring out a different side, and you can be surprised and impressed by how well some students who you thought couldn't do a work with numbers are featuring in a concept, whatever it might be. Yeah, and I think that's it. I wrote something down. You're actively engaged. That's the most important thing. Just get out your desk so that when you tell the students, right, guys, we're going to be doing maths now, you hear little things like, yay! Not like, oh. Okay, that's it.
I really, really love talking to you, Miss Wendy. That's why
Thank you for
I don't
inviting
think
me.
you remembered that I said I wish I would have worked longer with you so I can
You
gain
did.
lots of ideas and lots of things that I know I could use in my classroom. To all teachers
Thank you.
out there, please, please, please listen, watch this video. There's a lot for you to use in your classrooms. Miss Wendy, thank you so much for
Thank you.
gracing me your time, and I really had fun. And I'll be using those in my class for sure. So
Wonderful.
say
Thank you,
goodbye to my
Desiree.
viewers.
And
Thank
to you. Bye.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye. Uh-oh. Okay. Miss Wendy was a great math coach in our school, and I was so blessed to have her to coach me in math when she's last year, because she's our math coordinators, and just by looking by sitting with her you can get lots of information from her. Thank you all for watching, and I know you are getting all those informations that are very important and relevant in your classroom. Use them. I bet you your math class will be very 100%, and your students will be having fun in math. Thank you all for watching. Again, this is your teacher vlogger, Teacher Desiree Vlogs. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget to comment if you did get something from my video. And please hit that notification bell so every time I upload a new video, you will be notified right away. Thank you all for watching. This is Teacher Desiree signing off.